Hey, Sebastian here. We're in the start of March, so I thought it was a good idea to show you exactly what my client Shiniri has accomplished in February and what her numbers look like. So today I'm going to show you exactly how much we spent, how many calls we booked, how much cash actually came in, and the most important part, why this all worked. No bullshit, no we scaled to 100k overnight nonsense, just real numbers and real structure. And honestly, this is a really good example of what happens when clarity meets traffic. Let's dive into it here. So here it is. You can see every single one of Shiniri's numbers right here. You can see we spent 888 on actual ad spend. We got 16 book calls, which is really good. We collected 5k and $250. So that's also pretty good, and had a revenue on 7.5k, which again it's decent. That's a ROI on cash on almost 6, and revenue based it's 8.5, which again, it's good, but it's nothing crazy, it's nothing rival, it's just extremely controlled, and that's the most important word here. It's controlled, so we can do this again, and we can even optimize on these numbers. Here again, you can see that we had a cost per lead on 0.46 USD, which again is pretty healthy, and we only paid 55 USD per actual call that Shiniri went on, which is for coaching extremely healthy. But here's what matters more than the numbers. The calls were actually aligned, so the people that jumped on the calls actually had the problem that Shiniri is helping people fix, and that's the most important part. These results didn't come from better ads, although the ad was pretty good. They came from fixing the foundation before scaling anything, because ads don't fix confusion, they just make it way more expensive. And this is where most people mess up. So what we did is we started figuring out one problem that Shiniri actually solves. Then we find one way of actually fixing this problem, and this needs to be the best way of actually fixing this problem. And then we found a clear way of communicating it. And this way of communicating is actually something that aligned with the people that Shiniri is trying to help, so they feel understood. They feel like Shiniri is actually the one that can help them. This is one of the modules that we actually use before someone buys. So in the start here, we are looking at Shiniri's current offer, her audience, and her brand and messaging. We need to make sure that the foundation is clear and aligned, because this is what we're building the whole business on. So this really needs to be dialed in. So we made sure that her offer actually was needed in the market, and people actually have this problem that she helps people get out of, that her audience actually is aligned with her, and the way that she's communicating, that's brand and messaging. And this is extremely important. Then when all of that is settled and we have proof of this actually working, then we're actually ready to turn on traffic, so we're not burning any money on something we don't know if it's working or not. So when we let in traffic, we instantly get people in who is interested, and from there they need to be nurtured. We do that through content, we do that through stories and reels and everything that actually comes up on a normal IG. Then it's all about actually converting them into actual leads, and again we do that through content and through moving them through their own customer journey. Then it's all about Shiniri actually closing them. We help her with some sales calls, and we help her optimizing, so she is getting even better closing rate over time, and she also gets better at selling, and we also bring in better leads over time. And then the last part is service and lifetime value. So we want to optimize how much time Shiniri actually spends on each client without compromising how good results they actually are getting. And then of course there is lifetime value. We want to squeeze the lemon so we get the most out of every single person inside her system, and also just to make sure that they are getting the best results possible, right? There is also another model that we use, and that's called the 4 yes model. This is basically 4 things that a lead has to say yes to before they're actually ready to buy from Shiniri in this case. So they of course have to want the outcome that Shiniri is serving. So that's the most obvious one. Then they have to align and understand the method so they can actually see it work in their situation. Then they have to say yes to you. In this case, this is Shiniri. They have to say yes to Shiniri, that she's the one that can actually help them, and they have to trust her. And then the last part is that they have to trust themselves. So we have to make sure that the message builds self-belief, so they actually believe that they can do this, that they can make the shift, and this is actually something for them, right? And here we are again at the spreadsheet. We got 16 book calls in February. We collected 5.25k in the same month, and I just have to say that's not luck, that's alignment. And this is only February, and as I said, this is very controlled, so we can keep doing this and keep optimizing this. So this is just like the foundation, right? So the big takeaway here isn't the ROI. It is that predictability starts with structure. When there is one clear offer, one clear way of communicating this, and when the profile is overall clear, traffic becomes leverage instead of gambling. And as already said, this is just the February breakdown. We're still building, so if you want to see more of Shineri's case here, how's it going in the future, then drop me a follow. You can write a DM to me on Instagram if you need help yourself, or if you just want me to take a look at your business. Yeah, thank you so much for watching. Hey.